Data Science Rabbit podcast with Michael Bagelman.
There's been a lot of AI news lately, and I'm here to keep you up to speed. Imagine you're at an all-you-can-eat buffet. The first plate is amazing. The second plate is pretty good. By the fifth plate, you're questioning your life choices, and the marginal joy from each additional spring roll is approaching faster than a skydiver without a parachute. That's where we are with large language models. Multiple articles hit the tech news in the last week that AI companies are seeing diminishing returns on their efforts to improve their AI performance. While some dispute it, I'm firmly in the camp of thinking that we've pushed large language models about as far as we can for now. Companies have been supersizing their models like a teenager at McDonald's, but they're running into what statisticians call the curse of dimensionality. Essentially, a mathematical requirement that the data needed to train grows much faster than the size of the model. And having hoovered up the whole internet for training at the start, where can the AI companies get more data? Very likely any data they can find now is either low quality, hello Reddit, or highly specialized, hi JSTOR. And using synthetic data, meaning data generated by AI, is digital inbreeding. It's a snake eating its tail, which can lead to what's called model collapse. OpenAI's latest release, o1, uses a form of chain-of-thought prompting with special reasoning tokens added to the user prompts. I think some gains are possible in this direction, along with integrating with more traditional tools to beef up the ability to make decisions and do math. Speaking of math, Epic AI just dropped Frontier Math, a secret collection of math problems so hard they make your high school trigonometry look like counting fingers. Think of it as the Putnam Math Competition for robots. If you don't know what the Putnam Math Competition is, count yourself lucky. Some of us still wake up in cold sweat mumbling about infinite series. The beauty of Frontier Math is that these problems are guaranteed to be new to AI. They can't just regurgitate answers they've memorized. The idea is to have a benchmark to see how much AI is improving against difficult problems that can't possibly have been included in the training data. Speaking of benchmarks, OpenAI introduced a set of benchmark questions called Simple QA, which is about as simple as assembling IKEA furniture blindfolded. These are questions like, which Dutch player scored an open play goal in the 2022 Netherlands versus Argentina game in the Men's FIFA World Cup? It was Wout Weghorst. Duh. These questions were specifically chosen from sets of questions that at least one leading AI failed to answer correctly. When you read headlines about AI getting these questions wrong, remember that's the point. It's like judging human intelligence by how well people can juggle while reciting pi to 100 digits. Developments like Frontier Math and Simple QA are important because we need an accurate gauge for progress in our AI models, other than just vibes and feels as we interact with them. In other news, Nature recently published an article about AI's potential to become the world's most comprehensive research assistant. Currently, there's too much scientific knowledge for any human to process. We're talking trying to drink from the fire hose levels of information overload. The dream is to have AI systems that can digest all this knowledge and make connections humans might miss. The reality, right now, it's more like having an enthusiastic but easily confused intern. They're eager to help, but better to double-check their work before publishing anything. Regarding artificial general intelligence, despite what certain tech bros might be tweeting between their cold plunges and microdose meditation sessions, we're not on the verge of creating HAL 9000, or even WALL-E. The current state of AI is less, I'm afraid I can't do that, Dave, and more, I'm afraid I might hallucinate an answer about Dave while trying to solve a basic math problem. Dave's not here, man. Near-term progress is likely using the levels of artificial intelligence we have now for agents that can handle basic tasks like booking a restaurant reservation. Besides, I don't want superintelligence anyway. I've seen enough movies to know how that ends, and I'm not ready to welcome our new robot overlords. I still barely understand how to use TikTok.
All right, so get this, we're diving into AI today.
Yeah.
But not just any AI.
Oh, it's going to be good.
We're talking about AI that can reason.
Yeah, I know you've been looking forward to this one.
Apparently there's this thing called reasoning tokens.
Yeah.
And they're kind of changing the game.
It's pretty wild stuff. You know how we've been hearing about all these large language models, the LLMs?
Yeah, yeah.
They've been making huge strides, but this takes it even a step further.
Okay, so break it down for me. Like, what's the difference? We've had AI that can solve problems for a while now, right?
Right. Think of it this way. Earlier, AI, what some researchers call System 1, was like a super fast calculator. It could crunch numbers and find patterns at lightning speed. But if you gave it a really complex problem, something with multiple steps, it would just hit a wall.
Okay, I'm with you so far.
Okay.
So where do these reasoning tokens come in?
They're like the missing piece of the puzzle. They allow the AI to think more strategically, like a chess grandmaster planning their moves instead of just reacting based on what it's seen before. This is what some are calling System 2 AI.
So instead of just recognizing patterns, it's actually reasoning its way through problems.
Exactly.
That's pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, it is. And the fascinating part is that these reasoning tokens are like instructions embedded within AI's code.
Wow.
Think of them as commands, like analyze the problem, generate a hypothesis, or evaluate the evidence.
So it's almost like giving the AI a set of thinking tools,
Yeah.
a step-by-step guide to solving complex problems.
Exactly. It's not just blindly following a single path. It's considering different routes, weighing the options, and then choosing the most efficient one.
Okay, this is sounding pretty technical. Are there any real-world examples of how these reasoning tokens are being used?
Absolutely. Take OpenAI's O1 model, for instance. It uses something called planning tokens to map out a course through a problem.
Okay.
It's almost like setting GPS waypoints, leading the AI through a logical sequence of steps.
So it's not just OpenAI working on this.
Nope.
It's a whole field of research that's exploding.
You got it. Multiple research groups are exploring this, each with their own approaches and applications. For example, there's this paper, Guiding Language Model Reasoning with Planning Tokens. They're using these tokens to help AI tackle everything from math problems to complex question answering.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me.
Sure.
We're not just talking about pre-programmed logic here, right?
Right.
This AI is actually learning how to reason better over time.
Exactly. And that's thanks to something called reinforcement learning. Every time the AI gets an answer right or wrong, for that matter, it learns from that experience and adjusts its strategy for choosing the best reasoning path.
So it's like that chess grandmaster analogy again.
Yep.
The more the AI practices, the sharper its reasoning skills become.
Precisely. It's constantly refining its approach, getting better at analyzing problems and devising solutions.
Wait, so this isn't just some far-off sci-fi concept?
No.
Reasoning tokens are already being used in real-world applications.
Oh, absolutely. And the results are pretty astounding. Take the plantokens.pdf study, for example. Researchers were able to use reasoning tokens to guide an AI in controlling robots in a simulated kitchen environment.
Hold on, robots in the kitchen.
Yeah.
What were they doing making me a sandwich?
Not quite, but they were completing tasks like opening cabinets, fetching objects, and placing them in specific locations.
So it's not just solving abstract problems, it's actually interacting with the physical world.
It is.
That's pretty wild.
It is. And it demonstrates the potential for reasoning token AI to revolutionize fields like robotics, where complex planning and decision-making are essential.
Okay, robots in the kitchen. I never thought I'd see the day.
It's happening.
What else is this AI capable of?
Well, one area where we're seeing some impressive results is in math problem solving, particularly with those long multi-step problems that used to trip up older AI models.
Ugh, yeah, I remember struggling with those in school.
Yeah.
How much better is this reasoning token AI at math?
Researchers in the reasoningtokens.pdf study found that using reasoning tokens could boost the AI's accuracy by up to 10% or more on certain types of problems, which is huge, especially considering how complex these problems were.
Wow, so this AI is writing code-controlling robots and acing math tests.
Yeah.
It's like the ultimate overachiever.
It's pretty remarkable. And here's something else that's really fascinating.
Okay, hit me with it. What else is there?
These reasoning tokens are actually making AI more transparent.
What do you mean by transparent?
Well, with traditional AI, it was often like a black box.
Yeah.
You input data and you get an output, but you have no idea how the AI arrived at that answer.
So it's a mystery how the AI is actually thinking.
Exactly. But with reasoning tokens, we can actually visualize the AI's thought process step by step.
So we can see what's going on inside the AI's mind, so to speak.
Precisely. We can see which reasoning tokens it uses in what order and how it connects them to arrive at its conclusions. It's like having a window into the AI's reasoning process.
Okay, that's huge, especially when it comes to trust and understanding how these powerful systems work.
Absolutely. And that's one of the most exciting aspects of this technology. It's not just making AI smarter, it's making it more understandable.
Wow, so much to unpack here. It feels like we're on the verge of a major shift in AI, going from brute force computation to something that resembles actual thought.
So that's a great way to put it. And we're only just beginning to explore the possibilities.
This has already been incredibly insightful. I think I need a moment to process all of this before we dive any deeper.
I hear you. It's a lot to take in, but trust me, there's even more to explore.
Well, I'm definitely ready for more. But for now, I think we should pause here for part 1 of our deep dive into reasoning tokens. Join us next time as we delve even deeper into the implications of this revolutionary technology.
Looking forward to it. Welcome back, ready to explore more of this reasoning token rabbit hole.
Definitely. Last time we left off talking about how these tokens could actually make AI more transparent. We can actually see how it's reasoning, which is wild. But before we get into that, you mentioned something in passing earlier about how reasoning tokens might even help us understand the human brain better.
Yeah, it is a pretty mind-bending concept, isn't it? The idea that AI could help us unlock the secrets of our own cognition.
It sounds like science fiction, but how would that even work?
Remember those visualizations we were talking about, the ones that show the AI's thought process through the reasoning tokens? Well, some researchers believe that if we compare those AI thought maps to data from human brain scans, we might find some surprising correlations.
So we'd be looking for similarities between the way AI solves problems and the way our brains do it.
Exactly. We could potentially identify patterns in the AI's reasoning that mirror the neural activity in our own brains. Imagine using AI as a tool to decode the language of our own thoughts.
That's incredible. It's like reverse engineering the brain, but using AI as a guide. But let's shift gears for a second. We've talked a lot about the potential benefits of reasoning tokens, but what about the risks? What if this technology falls into the wrong hands?
It's a crucial question, and one we can't ignore. We're talking about AI with the ability to reason, plan, and learn. If those capabilities aren't carefully managed, we could end up with AI systems that optimize for the wrong things, leading to some pretty undesirable consequences.
So how do we ensure that this incredible power is used for good? What steps can we take to mitigate those risks?
Well, for starters, transparency is key, as we discussed. Reasoning tokens make AI more interpretable. We can see what the AI is thinking and why it's making certain decisions.
So it's not just about seeing what the AI is thinking, but understanding the why behind its actions.
Precisely. We need to be able to understand the AI's reasoning process, not just its outputs, and that understanding is essential for building trust and accountability.
Okay, so transparency is one piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
What else needs to happen?
Well, another crucial step is to invest in research focused on AI alignment. We need to develop techniques that ensure these powerful AI systems are aligned with human values and goals.
So even the most brilliant AI is useless or worse, harmful if it's not working towards the goals that we as humans deem important.
Exactly. AI alignment is all about making sure these systems are designed to benefit humanity, not work against us.
It's a big responsibility. We've got education research.
Sure.
What about regulation? Do we need laws to govern how reasoning token AI is developed and used?
That's a complex issue and one that's going to require a lot of careful consideration. On the one hand, we don't want to stifle innovation with overly restrictive regulations, but on the other hand, we need to ensure that this powerful technology is used responsibly and ethically.
Sounds like a tough balancing act. Who needs to be involved in this conversation?
It's going to take a collaborative effort. Policymakers, researchers, industry leaders, and most importantly, the public. We all need to have a say in shaping the future of AI.
Okay, so we've talked about the potential benefits, the risks, and the steps we can take to mitigate those risks. It's a lot to process.
It is, but it's also incredibly exciting. We're on the cusp of a new era of AI, one where machines can not only process information, but understand it, reason about it, and use it to solve complex problems in ways we never thought possible.
It has the potential to transform every aspect of our lives, doesn't it?
Absolutely. From healthcare and education to transportation and entertainment, the possibilities are limitless. But it's up to us to ensure that this transformation is a positive one.
So what's next on our deep dive agenda? Where do we go from here?
Well, now that we've laid the groundwork, I think it's time to get even more specific. Let's look at some real-world examples of how reasoning token AI is being applied today and explore what it might be capable of in the future.
Sounds good to me. Let's do it. All right, so we've talked about the theory behind reasoning tokens, explored the potential upsides and the things we need to be cautious about, and now I'm ready to hear how this is all playing out in the real world.
Well, it's a great time to be diving into this because we're just starting to see the impact of reasoning tokens across different fields.
So give me the highlights. Where are we seeing this tech really make a difference right now?
One area where we're already seeing real-world impact is in the field of autonomous systems.
Like self-driving cars.
That's a prime example.
Mhm.
Think about all the decisions a self-driving car has to make in real time.
Oh, yeah, tons.
Navigating traffic, responding to pedestrians, avoiding obstacles. It's a constant stream of complex calculations.
And those calculations have real-world consequences. I mean, a wrong move can be disastrous.
Exactly. That's why reasoning token AI is so exciting in this context. Instead of just reacting to the immediate surroundings, it's actually capable of planning ahead, anticipating potential problems, and choosing the safest course of action.
So it's not just about reflexes, it's about strategic thinking, almost like a human driver, but without the human error.
That's the goal. And those reasoning tokens are what make that strategic thinking possible. They're like the guiding principles behind the AI's decision-making process.
So self-driving cars are obviously a big one. But what about other autonomous systems, like robots working in factories or drones delivering packages?
Those are all perfect examples of where reasoning token AI is being explored and implemented. Any system that needs to operate independently in a dynamic environment can benefit from this technology.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. But let's shift gears for a minute. We talked earlier about how reasoning tokens might revolutionize scientific discovery. What does that look like in practice?
One of the biggest challenges in scientific research today is the sheer volume of data.
I can imagine.
Think about the Human Genome Project or the data coming from particle accelerators. It's overwhelming even for the brightest minds.
Totally.
Yeah.
So you're saying AI could be like a superpowered research assistant sifting through all that data and finding connections that humans might miss.
Exactly. Reasoning token AI has the potential to identify patterns, predict outcomes, and even discover new scientific principles that would have taken humans years or even decades to uncover.
That's incredible. It's like accelerating the pace of scientific discovery exponentially.
And it's not just about speed. Reasoning token AI can also help us make sense of complex systems. For example, it could be used to model climate change, predict earthquakes, or even understand the human brain better.
We talked about that earlier. It's mind-blowing to think that AI could hold the key to understanding our own cognition.
Yeah, it really is. It's one of the most fascinating frontiers in AI research.
Yeah.
And it's all thanks to those tiny but powerful reasoning tokens.
So we've got self-driving cars, robots, scientific breakthroughs. It feels like we're on the verge of a technological revolution.
It's an exciting time to be alive, that's for sure. And reasoning token AI is right at the heart of it.
This has been an incredible deep dive. I feel like I've learned so much, and yet there's still so much more to explore.
There's always more to learn, especially in a field as rapidly evolving as AI. But I hope this deep dive has given you a solid foundation for understanding the power and potential of reasoning tokens.
It definitely has. And I think it's safe to say that we'll be hearing a lot more about this technology in the years to come.
Without a doubt, this is just the beginning.
Well, on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive into the world of reasoning tokens. Thanks for joining us, and be sure to check back for more deep dives into the ever-evolving world of AI.
See ya, yeah.
This has been the Data Science Rabbit Podcast, hosted by Michael Bagelman. Find the Data Science Rabbit Podcast on all your favorite social media, including YouTube and TikTok. Follow Michael on LinkedIn, or visit datasciencerabbithole.com.